I think to any good photography anyone has taken is the feeling. You know, if you don't have that feeling of but first of all, interest in what you're actually shooting, there's never going to be a good photographer.
But why does it feel good?
It's because you are connecting to whatever you're photographing. Somehow there is a connection between the subject, the person, whatever it is, that is important for you. Composition, I can do everything, but if that feeling isn't there, it's not going to be anything.
For me, it's a little bit different. I need the connection to get into the subject.
That's what I'm saying too. Yeah.
But once I'm in, I know in hindsight that what I'm after, without consciously doing it, is still the composition. You start moving and you change your perspective, and suddenly it's there. Yeah. You don't stop shooting until you feel
exactly. Yeah,
it's there. It's there.
That's true.
Probably like the musicians, they make composition. Oh, this doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel, and then suddenly it feels right. And then when you analyze it, you see the structure. You see.
Underneath, you know, when it feels right, why does it feel right? I think it's because there is a connection between whatever you're doing, whether it's composition or singing. I mean, it's easy to see a singer who is engaged in his or her song because they get emotionally into it. And I think we have, as a photographer, we have to do that too. Today people take better photographs than ever, technically, and also situation-wise, as you said, I'm talking about, because it's so easy. But if you want to like get to a different level, like to be, let's call it artist then, or do artistic work, you have to get beyond the camera and start to think about what is important for you.
The camera, we're doing better photos now simply, I think, for two reasons. First of all, there's autofocus, which back then we didn't have, and it was really difficult.
Totally agree.
And so many pictures we didn't get because simply the focus wasn't there, especially when you shoot within 1.4 or whatever open aperture. And then the high ISO, and that gives us a complete different perspective.
I totally agree.
So we see
things
that we have not been able to see in photos before. Autofocus, okay, that makes it easier than maybe 20 years before. But other than that, I still have to do the composition work. I still have to find.
That is exactly what I'm talking about.
No, but you say that the camera makes it easier. It doesn't.
It does. You just said it. It's easier to focus. It's easier to.
But that's the only thing.
It's easier to get the exposure right, because it all. When we started, there was no evaluating or matrix light meters. It's all become much easier. They are so technical, advanced. We photographed the slides. I did the same, and you had to get the framing right because there was no cropping available. There was nothing. You couldn't change things much, at least back in the days of the films. So you had to get it right in the camera, which is now our advantage, I think, today.
What? By composing.
Yeah.
Because I still do that. I still
Of course.
compose,
Of course.
and I don't do cropping.
Of course.
I don't do cropping.
No, I do cropping, but hardly need to.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's bad to crop, but I think the fact that we have trained ourselves to see in the camera makes our images stronger than if you don't, or if you just let it go and crop for whatever reason afterwards. There are some people who say you can't crop, and I'm not there.
I'm against it because I also, in the workshops and the course I just did with the people, we do the review of the photos and you see, okay, this photo would have worked if, and then I start cropping and show them. But this is not to tell them, oh, just go out and shoot and you can come home and crop later. No, the idea is, okay, you didn't do it 100%, you have to crop it, look at this. And now for you to understand, when you go out again, shoot it like this, to make it work in the first way. Don't stop pushing yourself by thinking, oh, no, it's okay, I can fix it in post-production.
I work the same way, but I think for me, if you're not this is talking about the process of photographing, how to get to the good photograph. But when I see a good photograph on the wall or in the book, I don't care if it has been cropped.
I totally agree.
I don't care how they got it.
I totally agree.
In the end,
but the point is to train yourself, to learn how to fill your canvas in a way it makes sense. Of course, I mean, when you're in a situation where you can't move, let's say you're a ship with moving, you can't move, change your perspective, then of course there can be a situation. When I go out, I'm in a bad mood. I know now, in 2 hours from now I want to look at a football match, and no, it's too hot, it's
You're
too
not
cold,
going to get
it's
anything,
wet.
of course.
I'm not going to get anything.
Of course.
So it's about the energy, it's about the muses. I always say, the muses are there, up there looking at me. Oh, Sven, you don't want to work today? You're not in a good mood? You think you can get a double page for an assignment by just hitting the street for an hour? It's not going to work. But to the contrary, when I'm out there with a good mood, good attitude, I can literally wishing for things to happen. So it's like you look for a backdrop and you got the backdrop is nice. So and then I think, okay, it would be nice if things like this and this would happen. And many times it does.
But for me, this is not the muses or the universe playing with you. For me, this is the red car syndrome, or whatever you call it. You think about, take an orange car, you think about it, we talk about an orange car, and then you go out on the street and you see the orange car everywhere now, because this is how our brain works. I think I create some awareness in me that I'm able to use when I focus. Because I have the same thing, if I go out and I'm not focused, I have my thoughts with paying bills, or my kids are not behaving well or whatever, I will never get a good photograph, of course not.